All right, let's just dive right into this. Today, we're going to talk about a really powerful way to reframe something that I'm sure a lot of you have been called, a person who thinks too much. We're going to look at what's really going on under the hood with that constant analysis.
I mean, seriously, has anyone ever called you an overthinker? I'm guessing for a whole lot of you, the answer is a big, resounding yes. It's this label that gets tossed around, usually not as a compliment, right? But what if it's just a total misunderstanding of what your brain is actually built to do?
Oh, you know the feeling. It's that constant loop in your head, replaying a conversation from hours ago, picking apart every single word. Or maybe you get caught in that spiral of what if this and what if that before you can make any kind of decision. It can feel, well, it can feel exhausting, like your brain just refuses to switch off. Okay, but what if we could just move right past that negative label? That's what we're going to do here. We're going to explore a simple, but honestly a really profound shift in how you see this entire way of thinking. Now, this is the core idea from the source material, and it captures it perfectly. The idea is that analyzing everything isn't some kind of flaw in your character. It's a function of your mind. You're not overthinking, you're deep processing. Huge difference.
And this comparison just lays it all out so clearly. You see, the label overthinker comes with all this heavy negative baggage, right? It implies you're anxious, you're stuck, you can't make a decision. But when we just change the frame to deep processor, suddenly we see the strengths. You're thorough, you're perceptive, you're insightful. It's the exact same trait, just seen through a much more accurate and powerful lens.
So let's be really clear on what this term means. A deep processor is simply someone whose default way of thinking is to, well, go deep, to be incredibly thorough, to be analytical, and to process information way more extensively than most people do. The key here is that it's not about the quantity of your thoughts, it's about the depth.
But look, this isn't just about trading one label for a nicer sounding one to make ourselves feel better. No, there's real cognitive science behind this, which brings us to the absolutely fascinating mechanics of your own thinking engine. And this is so important to get. Deep processor is not just some fluffy, feel-good term. It is directly grounded in a well-established psychological concept, and it's called System 2 dominance. Okay, so here's the deal. Your brain has basically two operating systems. You've got System 1, which is your fast, intuitive, gut-feeling autopilot. Then you've got System 2, which is the slow, deliberate, super analytical copilot. If you're a deep processor, it just means your brain tends to favor handing the controls over to that methodical copilot way more often than not. That's it. All right, so your brain likes the careful copilot. So what? What's the payoff for all that deep thinking? Well, this is where it gets really good, because that preference, that tendency, leads to what we can absolutely call the insight advantage. And yeah, it is basically a superpower. And there it is, plain and simple. The ultimate strength of being a deep processor is your incredible ability to build insights, to see connections that other people, running on their faster, more surface-level System 1, will almost always miss entirely. So how does this insight machine actually work? You can think of it as a pretty simple three-step process. First, your brain is like a sponge. It just absorbs details and data that other people might tune out. Then, it starts connecting those dots, finding the hidden relationships and patterns that are lurking just beneath the surface. And finally, and this is the magic part, all that work comes together to synthesize a brand new insight, a valuable conclusion that just wasn't there before.
So you see, that constant thinking, that whirring in your mind, it's not your brain spinning its wheels, not at all. It's a high-performance engine, specifically wired to connect dots and find meaning, leading you to these valuable, non-obvious conclusions.
You know, understanding all this is one thing, but actually using it, well, that's everything, isn't it? So let's talk about how to really harness this processing power and start treating your mind like the incredible tool it actually is. All right, let's just quickly recap the absolute core takeaways here. First, and say it with me, you are a deep processor, not an overthinker. Just ditch that old label. Second, remember this is all driven by your brain's natural preference for that analytical System 2. And third, and most important, own the fact that your real strength is building unique insights. And if you take away only one thing today, please let it be this. Your analytical nature was never, ever a bug. It has always been your most powerful, most valuable feature. So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. Now that you understand this incredible superpower you have, this ability to see what others miss, the only question left is, what are you going to build with your insights?